Today I want to go over that trap in detail. So we're going to start off with the standard scholar's mate attempt. So the way with queen attack, we defend the pawn and they go for the bishop. We've all seen this at some point in our games, and we know to attack the queen here, and they usually go here to remain the threat of checkmate. Now, usually you can block with your knight, maybe the queen, stuff like that, and you might feel like, okay, I'm not really punishing my opponent for bringing his queen out too early. I want to really punish him. And that's where this trap comes in, because we're gonna play f5. And it's an interesting move because at first glance it looks like we are just hanging a pawn, right? It has two attackers and only one defender. So they are gonna take it, but we are gonna ignore that pawn and we are gonna attack the queen here. Now the queen has to move, and players that are playing this opening are really trying to checkmate quickly. So what they usually do is they bring that queen here, setting up yet another checkmate threat. And in the original video I got some comments saying, okay, people that play this are probably only know the first two moves and then they're on their own. But actually I found that a lot of grandmasters even are playing this just to troll their opponents, things like that. So yeah, if you come across a friend that thinks he's way better than you and he can get away with this, then this is the trap for you. So we need to respond to the strat, of course, so we're gonna bring out our queen to stop this check here. And if you notice, we are also threatening a fork here. So white is gonna try to stop that by bringing out his knight. Now at this point we are gonna attack the queen, and if you look carefully, the queen doesn't have a lot of squares here. This is protected by our queen, this is protected by the pawn, this is protected by our knight, so really two squares. This is protected as well. So the first one is easy. If he goes here, it's a blunder because we have this immediate fork and we're gonna win one of the pieces. So that's no good. So let's go back. The other square he has with the queen is here. And if he does that, we are gonna attack it again. And notice he doesn't have any options really here, because this is covered, this is covered, this is covered, and let's see, this isn't covered, but yeah, it's basically the same thing, right? If he goes here, we're gonna fork him, so he is gonna go to this square, and here we're gonna attack that bishop. Now the bishop again can go forward because we're gonna capture it, so he really has these three squares and I guess this one. Well, these squares that I'm highlighting here are all gonna lead to the exact same trap. So first, and I didn't do this in the original video, let me show you what happens if he goes here. We are gonna continue with b5 and we are simply threatening a fork. So they are gonna move out of the way with our queen, and what we now can actually do is still go for this move. Because after we do this, remember we had this fork as well, so if he is gonna move his knight, we have that fork. And what white wants to do here is counterattack our knight, right? If you're gonna take mine, I'm gonna take yours, and it's just a trade. But because the bishop moved here, we can now actually take the bishop first, and after they recapture, let's say with the knight, we can take the knight. Or if they don't recapture and try to save their knight somehow, we can save our knight as well, or take the bishop, take the knight. Doesn't really matter, but anyway, we've just won a piece. So going all the way back, that's why bishop here isn't the right move. And all the other moves are possible, but they're gonna lead to the same trap. And the engine actually recommends going all the way back. So that's what we're gonna use in our example. We're still gonna go for b5, again, threatening this fork here, so they're again gonna move their queen. Notice that if we go here now and they do this, now we don't really have anything. We can't perform the check here because the knight will take. We can't take the knight because they take our knight, and we don't have really have a move with our knight. We could take this pawn, and let me show you. This would actually still be a really good position because let's say they do something like this, I don't know. It's just a really good position, but we have something better here. and we didn't really win any material, so that's what we want. So let's go back. A really important move to make here is rook b8. And at first glance it doesn't really change anything, right? We can still go here, but what does it change? But let me show you. Let's say they make a random move. I'm gonna make a really weird move just to show the point. We can now attack this knight, and you're gonna say, wait, isn't that the same thing, right? They are gonna take, we are gonna take, it's just the same thing. But in the end, because we've placed our rook here, we can now actually take here and fork these pieces. So that's why that rook move is important, and that's why white needs to respond to this threat. So what are they gonna do? They are gonna attack our knight, saying, sorry, I need to go one move more back. They're gonna attack our knight, saying, okay, you can now play this because let's see, they can just stick with the pawn and they are attacking our knight. So you need to move your knight. Now our next move, and it's probably wise to try and make it look like a pre-move because they are gonna take our knight, because it's rook b6. And it looks really weird because, yeah, it looks like we hang our knight. And this is the main idea in our trap. Even if they don't take it, we're still in a good position. But let's say they are taking our knight. Now we can attack the queen. And the queen doesn't really have any squares. Again, it can go back here, but all the other squares are covered, right? They can take our rook, but yeah, we just win the queen. So what they are usually going to do is they're going to move back to c3. But in this position, we have the winning move and the end of this trap, which is e takes d4, check, and we're going to win the queen. Like, they can block with the queen, we're going to still take it. And if they do something else, like blocking with the bishop, I don't know, we're going to take that queen. So yeah, this is the main way to trap their queen and to really make him regret bringing out his queen so soon. So yeah, I hope this clarifies some things from the original video, and I hope you can trap a lot of opponents with this one. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.